Bienvenidos a Paréntesis, el espacio donde abrimos un paréntesis en la rutina para conversar con las voces que dan vida al mundo de los libros. Hoy estoy muy emocionada porque vamos a hablar con Rachel Schneider, autora que ha causado un revuelo en la comunidad de lectores con su debut de romantasy Metal Slinger. Vamos a hablar sobre cómo nació esta historia, su experiencia como autora indie que dio el salto a la publicación tradicional recientemente y todo lo que viene para este universo que apenas empieza a expandirse. Rachel, welcome to Parentheses. Metal Slinger has been such a hit with romantasy fans. It's action-packed, emotional, and filled with characters that readers, including myself, are already obsessed with. I'm so thrilled to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start at the very beginning. What first pulled you into writing, and how did Metal Slinger come to life?
I always joke that I have like a really overactive imagination. And so I just really needed an outlet to finally, the stories that stay in my mind to get it out. So I really developed writing pretty early, or I enjoyed writing early. As far as I get asked all the time, like what inspired Metal Slinger, and I cannot pinpoint for the life of me, like where the idea came from. I just know that one day it existed.
It's amazing to see how stories evolve from that first spark of inspiration and they take shape and grow and eventually transform into this like huge world and cast of characters that we as readers can dive into. For anyone who's listening who hasn't yet read Metal Slinger, how would you describe what they're getting into?
It's really a book about adventure and finding yourself and falling in love for the first time, being vulnerable but also strong. It has like all the qualities of almost nostalgic for me, but each reader pulls different experiences from it altogether.
If you had to sum it up in just a few words, what would they be?
Action, adventure, and spicy.
But yeah, I agree. And I, as a reader, can attest that the emotional roller coaster is real in this book. I think that's exactly why readers have been going wild for Metal Slinger online. The hype it's getting on Book Talk and Bookstagram has been huge lately. How has it felt to watch your books gain that kind of momentum and see so many people connecting with your story?
It's crazy. I mean, for the most part, my life is like mostly the same. And then every now and then I'll just be like, oh, wow, this is actually happening. It's been crazy.
Yeah, it must feel amazing to see a book you've poured so much into getting that kind of attention from readers. I can imagine it brings a mix of excitement and pressure as well for any author, including you.
Yes, it feels, I joke that it often feels like a fever dream.
And I'm wondering, has the fan community ever influenced the way you're approaching Lightwielder or any of your future projects?
There is a lot of pressure. Everybody has an idea of where they would like book 2 to go. But I think what made Metal Slinger in the first place is that I wrote it with the intention that no one would ever read it. And so going into Lightwielder, I just tried to take that same mindset so that I wasn't worrying about this theory or this theory and just stick to what I had always intended.
So do you feel more pressure going into this next book, or is it more like a motivating energy?
Both. It can be both. I want it to be the best that it can be. So that pressure, but also motivation to make it the best.
Knowing that the momentum Metal Slinger has not influenced your approach to the next book actually makes me even more excited to dive into Lightwielder. I think it's interesting still to see the energy that fans have. I feel like that connection between author and readers adds a whole new layer to the books. And speaking of strong connections with readers, Metal Slinger has some major twists. Have you had any reactions from fans that really caught you by surprise or stuck with you in a memorable way?
I always love the reactions where someone warned them to record the last couple of chapters. I love those. Those are the ones that me and my family and my friends are always sharing back and forth. I love to see it. To be able to get to witness someone experiencing it is always pretty great.
Yeah, I remember when I finished Metal Slinger. I wanted to throw the book in a good way, in a good way. I feel it's powerful when a story connects with readers and surprises them in unexpected ways. Those kind of reactions really show how invested people are and the emotional impact the story has. It must be very rewarding to see your characters come alive in that way.
Yes, for sure.
And I think part of that emotional impact comes from how you built the twist. Metal Slinger reveal completely reframes the narrative, and many readers felt almost a sense of betrayal in the best way after that twist. How did you approach crafting a twist that's meant to surprise readers without making them feel cheated?
Ooh, I don't know if there was a way to do it without the reader feeling a little duped. That was a hard decision, but I felt like it was the right decision for our characters and their story arc. I feel like that if I if it didn't go in that direction, it would have been cheating the characters.
Stuck with me long after I closed the book, and I think that was kind of your point when making it that way.
I wanted it to linger a little bit and then whenever book two came around, for it to still be there.
And I think it works well because the story feels layered. Readers have mentioned that there's this sense of a much bigger story lurking beneath the surface of Metal Slinger, like we're only seeing a fraction of the full lore. Did you build out a complete timeline or backstory before writing, or is it a world that you're expanding as you go?
It's a little bit of both, because when I had started Metal Slinger, I intended it for it to be one book. It was going to be a standalone. And then I realized that it was growing to be such a larger arc. The storyline had progressed that I realized that it would need two. And then as I was writing two, I was like, well, maybe a third. So it continues to progress, but I always want it to be a natural progression.
You're passionate about the characters and the world we created. I can imagine that kind of passion makes the whole publishing journey feel even more personal to you. Which brings me to the question, when you moved from self-publishing to working with a traditional publisher, did that relationship with your story or characters shift at all? How did that transition affect the way you see your work as a creator?
I don't think that it changed it at all. Saturday Books has been letting me take the story where I want it to go. So it's been very easy for me to continue to do what I was doing with Metal Slinger.
Do you feel like there was a big challenge or surprise you faced when making that switch? Or was it a smooth transition?
Deadlines are hard. That was tougher to time my creativity to a timeline. That was a little more difficult for me to do. But whenever you have a team backing you, it makes it much easier.
And is there something you wish you had known before the transition? Maybe something new writers who might be listening might want to know?
There's more behind the scenes than I think people see.
I imagine there's a lot of pieces moving around in that whole process. Hearing about those challenges makes me even more excited to see what you're working on next. Lightwielder has a lot of readers eagerly waiting, especially after that ending in Metal Slinger. Can you share any updates on where we're at with the book, what the release timeline looks like, or any fun behind the scenes moments or surprises you've had while working on it?
I don't have an update on a release date yet, but I can say that I'm in editing. So the book is written. We're just fine-tuning it to send it into the world.
I'm already picturing how epic it's gonna be.
The political aspects definitely get a little deeper, but this Lightwielder set 4 years after Metal Slinger ended. And so the characters are a little older. The tension has been brewing for a little longer. So it is more mature, but I still wanted it to have the same fast-paced, action-packed feel that you got from Metal Slinger, just with a little different tone.
Yeah, and after Metal Slinger, I can imagine you're really setting us up for an intense ride. Honestly, I'm ready for it. And I'm sure it's not just me. Your story is reaching more and more readers from all over. How does it feel seeing your work reach new audiences? Anything you hope new readers in particular take away?
For Metal Slinger or stories in general to reach across the world, there's nothing more universal than the human experience. So for other people to be so far away from where I am and read my story and take away anything from it is amazing.
I think stories really do have a way of finding the right readers at the right time. And it's amazing to see how Metal Slinger is resonated with people from so many different places.
Yeah,
Rachel,
for sure.
It's been a pleasure to have you here and hear about your journey and everything behind Metal Slinger. I really appreciate you sharing your time with us. Before we finish, is there anything you want to say to your readers? Anything you want to leave them with?
Just thank you for taking a chance on Metal Slinger and for loving it and going on this journey with me. It's been great.
We'll be keeping a close eye on what's coming in book 2, for sure. Y así llegamos al final de este episodio de Paréntesis. La verdad que ha sido un placer enorme poder conversar con Rachel Schneider y descubrir todo lo que hay detrás de su proceso como escritora. Gracias por acompañarnos en este episodio de Paréntesis. Me encanta abrir este espacio para pausar, reflexionar y descubrir qué hay detrás de las historias que nos marcan. Nos vemos en el próximo episodio muy pronto.